Hey guys, it's Jess from Peace Love Books, and today I'm here with my August TBR. I can't believe we're already in August. It is the end of my summer. I'm a teacher, so we're back to school. About mid-August, teachers report on August 13th in my district. So I live in Ohio. We start a little bit later than a couple other districts. I know people more in the South start pretty early, and so it's my birthday month too. My birthday's August 1st, so I never really feel like it's actually like my birthday month since my birthday's on the 1st of the month, so my birthday's over by the time the rest of the month happens. But that's exciting, and that's pretty much all that's going on in August. So I have a ton of arcs to read because everything's coming out in September. I went crazy on NetGalley throughout quarantine, and everything's coming out from when I requested them back in like April, May time. So I have a ton of arcs to read. My physical TBR is not that big, but my digital TBR is giant. And of course, every month I also listen to audiobooks, so I'm gonna get to all the books I need to read. The first two actually are not here yet. They're coming in the mail tomorrow. The first one's Such a Fun Age. I forget the author's name. This is a gorgeous cover. I love the blues and pinks. This is The Unfriendly Black Hotties. I can never say that clearly. That name is just a tongue twister. For their book club for August, and I'm really excited to read it. I'm excited to join in on their live show to discuss what it's about. So that's coming in the mail, and it's coming tomorrow. And then I also have The Wicker King, which might pick what I read next for July, and I was gonna get it on Kindle or on audiobook, and then I was watching reviews of it and people say like the physical reading experience is really important for that book, so I ended up buying a copy. So I'm gonna read it hopefully before August starts, but there's only 3 days of the month left and I don't know if I'll get to it because I have a ton of arcs. So that's first priority on my August TBR. And then I think Elisa Kleypas book one for my August pick what I read next. I have to double check that. It might be Devil in Winter, so I might be reading that in August as well, which I'm surprised. I don't think a historical romance has won my pick what I read next, so that's exciting. The first book I need to get to digitally is One by One by Ruth Ware. This is her new thriller, and this one comes out on September 8th. I do not know what it's about. My thrillers, I love Glowing and Blind, so I can't tell you what the synopsis of this is, but I know I'm going to read it in this month. Next, I need to read my arc of Ties That Tether, and this one I got an e-arc from Berkeley, and I'm so excited for this one. Our main character, she is Nigerian, and her family immigrated to Canada, so they live in Canada, but she still tries to hold on to her culture, and her parents really want her to marry a Nigerian man, but she falls in love with a white man. So it's very complicated how she wants to stay true to herself and follow her heart, or she wants to stay with what her family wants her to do. I'm excited. The cover's absolutely gorgeous, so this is definitely another top priority for me in August. Then I also got an arc of Tools of Engagement by Tessa Bailey. This one, it just says that there are two enemy teams who have to flip a house together, and I think that the people that are working against each other or with each other but they're still enemies fall in love. It's the third book in the Hot and Hammered series. I really enjoyed book one and I really enjoyed book two, so I'm excited to read book three. I do have a couple of historical romances on here. I don't tend to read the synopses of historical romances because I never remember what they're about anyways. So the first one is A Rogue of One's Own. Here is the book. I forget the author, but I'm excited to read this. It might be Evilly, I might be completely wrong, but there's this one. And then I also really want to read All Scott and Bothered by Kerrigan Byrne. I'm super excited for this one. I think that Lacey from Lacey Book Lovers already read it and she really enjoyed it, and I think we might have a plus size heroine in this one. So I love Kerrigan Byrne. This cover's gorgeous, so I can't wait to read this book. I also have Her Night with the Duke, which I don't remember. I know I had a Kate Bateman on here. This might be it. It might have been the other one, but I'm gonna read this one as well. So I have 3 historical romances that come out in September that I want to read in August. I also have an e-arc of Well Played by Jen DeLuca. This is book 2 in her Well Met series. This one is about Stacy. These romance all center around Ren fairs. They're super fun. I really loved book 1. It was Enemies to Lovers, and this one is about a character named Stacy who I don't know if I remember her, but she falls for Dex, who is in the band The Dueling Kilts. It sounds so good. I'm so excited for this. I think it'll be a great summer romance slash like going into fall because it's like a Ren fair. I'm excited. I know that I also have an arc of Snapped by Alexa Martin. I don't remember if this one comes out in September or October, but it is the 4th book in the Playbook series, and I absolutely love the series. Again, I'm going to say this about all these, but this cover is stunning. These are like my favorite colors on a cover, so I love Alexa Martin. She sometimes has interracial couples or she has black couples, so I'm very excited to read this one. Book 3 was pretty good, but I loved book 2 and book 1 was really good, so I'm excited for book 4. Then I was sent an arc of Smash It by Francina Simone. This one comes out in September, and it's about our main character who decides to make this list of things she wants to smash this year, and she ends up trying out for the school play, and she kind of likes 3 different guys, I think, at one point in this book, so I think that's so relatable to high school because, like, you kind of have a new crush, like, every day sometimes, and that's not really in a lot of young adult contemporary novels. Like, from what I see with my students, they're all over the place when it comes to people they like, so I think this is going to be really fun, and I love this cover as well, and I'm excited after reading this to put it in my classroom so my students can read it as well. Then I did get an arc of When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole. I am so excited. I've seen a lot of people getting this arc, and the publisher made sure to tell me that they are prioritizing Black reviewers for this book before I accepted it, so I was very thankful that they were upfront about that. But this one is Alyssa Cole's first thriller novel. She typically writes romances, and the neighborhood in here is being sold off, and our main character feels like it's being sold off before her eyes is how it's phrased, and she decides to start this like tour of the history of her city, and it says it descends into paranoia and fear. Their neighbors may not have moved to the suburbs after all, and the efforts to revitalize the community may be more deadly than advertised. It sounds so good. I know my Anna read it and she loved it, so I'm so excited to read this month. The next book I have is an arc as well, another one that I'm really excited to put in my classroom for my students to read after I read it, and that is The Black Kids by Christina Hammonds Reed. This is about a girl who's a senior in high school, and it is 1992 in Los Angeles, and it is after police are acquitted from murdering Rodney King, and there are riots everywhere, and I'm really excited to see a teen's perspective during that time, and I don't know that much about 1992. It was before I was born, so I'm excited to read this, and then, like I said, let my students read it after me. I will be doing a bunch of reading vlogs for some historical romances and other romances that I don't want to tell you about yet, so I do have a lot more romance on my TBR, but they're secrets. So the last 3 are actually all young adult books that I've been meaning to get to this summer that I want to read so that I can recommend them when school starts back up again. The first is King and the Dragonflies by Casey Calendar. This one, I think this young boy's brother ends up dying. He thinks he sees him in dragonflies. Yes, he thinks his brother has turned into a dragonfly. I'm really excited to read this. I loved Felix Ever After, so I want to read more by Casey Calendar. Next, I saw Kayla from Books and Lala read this for the reading rush, so I really want to read it, and that is What Mama Left Me by Renee Watson. I have a few of Renee Watson's books, but I haven't read them yet. Our main character in here, her mother has died, her father's not in the picture, so she lives with her grandparents. She has a brother, and there's a boy she's kind of starting to like, and it sounds like things start unraveling and falling out of her control, and I'm excited to read it. It's a pretty quick read, so hopefully I can read this. I also do have Piecing Me Together and Watch Us Rise by her, so once I read this, I want to read more of Renee Watson's books. And the last one is You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson. I did win this in a giveaway, so I really want to read it before giving it to my students to read. Our main character really needs money for college, and if you win prom queen, you win a scholarship, and so she really wants to win prom queen. There's a new girl in school that also wants to win prom queen, and our main character kind of starts liking that new girl, and so it is a sapphic romance, and I'm very excited to read this. I've heard amazing things about it so far, so I definitely have to read this in August. There's also a really exciting announcement that I have with Lacey and Lisa coming out on Monday, and if it's with them, I bet you can guess what it is, but I can't tell you until we announce it, so keep your eyes out for that. That will affect my reading plans in August as well. But that's all I have. Let me know down below what you plan on reading in August or any of these you're excited for. I would love to hear. As always, thank you so much for watching and have a good day. Bye.